Good morning. Good morning, Diana. I don't know if anybody else is there yet. I am wearing my new late bloomer long sleeve t shirt because it was 66 degrees in my village in Los Angeles County at 6 a.m. I'm sure it's warmer than that now because the sun is up, but it just went behind a cloud. So I have so much to go over today. And if you're just joining me for the first time, you have reached Kaye at Late Bloomer Show on YouTube. And we will be talking about seeds, harvest, shout outs, and a whole bunch more as people start tuning in. I want to just, first of all, I always like to get things started off. I love orange. I love orange. I love orange. I love growing oranges. I love drinking orange juice. I love oranges. And today, the essential oil I have selected for this live stream is orange. Now, I know many people write me and say, "Oh, I wish I could grow citrus." That is orange where I am, and they can't because of the climate. Citrus grows really well here. You really have to work hard to mess up your citrus here. And the biggest thing that messes up citrus for people growing here or starting out is overwatering. And that was a mistake I made because we have very clay soil here. Good morning, Lisa. And former Palisadian, where are you now, Lisa? Because I'm moving. Good morning. Let's see, how do I pronounce that? Keele? Travis, good morning. Daryl, good morning. Oh my gosh. If you guys saw Daryl's, good morning, Jamela from Trinidad and Tobago. Uh-oh. Okay, everybody give a little prayer for Trinidad and Tobago. Tropical Storm Karen is threatening to hit them today and Tuesday morning. Johnny, did you see my message? Oh, I misspelled Johnny. I said, is Johnny tuning in? Johnny sent me, I have this right? Johnny sent me $60 because I sold my last ladder and I can't reach my figs. And I've been standing on the fence trying to get to my figs. Anyway, I haven't bought that ladder yet, but I intend to. So thank you very much. Lisa. Oh, okay. Well, Lisa, you're probably very close to, who was it that was here? She lives in northern San Diego County. We did the video about the saving lemon verbena and drying it for tea. If you watch the videos with Daryl's a regular on our live streams. He's in Tennessee. We did 3 or 4 videos back in April, and he was working on his pond, this huge excavation and building an earthen dam to make a pond on his property. And he said he's filling it with water today. So wish him well. Oh, okay, Johnny. Then there is. But you know what? It's like Johnny Mazzaro or something. Okay. That wasn't you? Well, you would know. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Luis. This is like, oh, okay. You guys check out Green Zebra Gardening. Luis has been my good friend for many years, and one of my first gardening friends, because we had a little Facebook group that only had about 21 members, and I'm still friends with 3 or 4 of those people. I'm in regular contact with, and Esther and Luis and oh, help me out, Luis. Anyway, Luis has started getting serious about a channel. So check him out on social media at Green Zebra Gardening. He's a great networker down in Long Beach, and there's a great food community down in Long Beach. And he's really connected to all that, as well as you can get on your phone, and I get no money for endorsing this. But it's just a great thing to have on your phone if you want to be part of a food community in your community, a food group in your community. You can get the Crop Swap app on your phone. And, I really actually need to utilize that. Uh, I really need to utilize that. Hold on one second. I just heard from my son and I said, I'm on live, tune in. So we'll see if he does. Uh, so Crop Swap app on your phone, and I really need to use that too because guess what's happening? It's that time again, and I wanted to show you, for people who think, oh, I just have a small yard, I have a small garden, what can I possibly do? Well, you can't grow feijoa or pineapple guava everywhere. It is a tropical fruit, but it does really well in our semi-arid, semi-desert climate, especially by the ocean. Look at this. And Daryl, these are much, much heavier than the passion fruit, so I probably will not be sending you a box. And they don't keep as well in transit. But what I've done is I've reached out to, oh, hold on. And that's just pineapple guavas. This is also happening at the same time. I was hoping the guavas were going to delay for another week or two, but these are brown turkey figs. And Eric was here yesterday and brought his ladder and got up on the ladder and got those down. And then, of course, the great thing about passion fruit is they just fall off. You don't have to go and pick them. Same for pineapple guavas. So many fruits you have to, oh, is it right? Or, watermelon, any of these things. How do you pick it? How do you know when to pick it? The great thing is these just fall off. And when they get shriveled up a little bit or soft and kind of starting to shrivel up on the countertop, then you cut them open and they're ready. So that's what's going on harvest-wise in this garden. I only have a handful of tomatoes left. Let me see if I can say hello to a couple of people. Karen, you're in Scotland, right? Or do I have that right? Let's see. Lisa, no, I have one pumpkin out there. My cucurbit. This was not a year for cucurbits here, and except for my loofah, which is a cucurbit because it's in the cucumber family. And I have 15 really nice. I don't have any monsters, but my biggest one is this big, and my smallest one is this big. And I have 15 of those that look like they're really nice shape. The great thing about this trellis, the way I set this trellis up, is I made sure, you have to make sure, well, it's too late now for anyone starting, but keep this tidbit in mind. When you want a beautiful loofah sponge, it's not a sponge, it's a plant. And they do have the sponges in plastic in the store. Many people have only seen plastic loofah sponges. But it is a plant. It comes from a plant. It's the exoskeleton of a cucumber plant that is grown large, way past the point of eating it. And if you release them, because they'll twist up and get caught up in their own little vines and the trellis and everything. But if you just keep an eye on them and just release them and let them hang straight down, then they have their best possible shape. Good morning, Cheryl. Thank you, Johnny, for asking. I'm going to cover that. I'm going to talk all about that. Let's see. Let me just see if there's anybody else. Fig quesadillas. I hadn't thought of that. That's a great idea. What would you put in it, Lisa? I was trying to think of how I'm going to eat these figs because, I used to always run over and buy some cheese, but, I don't want to be eating too much cheese. So one thing I do is I eat raw dairy, and I've done that since 2000. And And that's a long story. I'll cover that another time if anyone's interested. But it's really hard to find really wonderful ripened goat cheeses and flavorful cheeses that are raw. You can find, mo- um, you can find cheddar and just some of the common ones. You can even find it with jalapeno, but it's really hard to find any of those wonderful cheeses that just really make a dish or make a cracker and a fig sing. But I was always just eating them with crackers and cheese, and then I began to love figs, just eating figs. But how many can you eat in a day? Yes, we're praying for peace and abundance for everyone this year. Orange oil. Speaking of that, today's oil is orange. I am feeling orange, and I am upbeat and cheerful. To answer Johnny's question, good morning, Tom, Mr. Tom. Cheese butter. Ooh. Yes, they do, Cheryl. So it's harvesting figs is really, really, I'm learning more since Jack was here. By the way, if please go back and watch my videos with Jack Davis. She is so knowledgeable. And I learn so much every time I'm with her. And she was telling me the perfect ripeness to take the figs off the tree is when it has the little bit of cracking, but the hole is still intact in the bottom. Well, that happens like one morning. And so all of these figs that Eric just took off, none of them have the cracking. So they're not in their most ideal, sweetest. That's when you have the cracking, it has the sweetest. It's like eating a bite of jam with a skin around it. None of these have that cracking. But he went ahead and took them off the tree because he figured they would get eaten by squirrels. And I don't have a ladder. So, okay. Let's see. Yes, Cheryl. But if you take it off at the right time, there's a good chance that you don't have to deal with any of that. Good morning, Eric. Well, by the time they hang down, Eric, that's a good point. By the time they hang down, I usually have about 10 of those big green beetles under there sucking on them. It's pretty great. Good point, Daryl. Somebody that's coming to visit me today is growing olives. And her name is Nora. And she was asking me last night about olives. And I was telling her about the problem we have here in SoCal with the olive fruit fly injecting their eggs into every single olive. And yes, remember when I did the video spraying the biological control? What was it? Help me out, Daryl. What was I spraying? That was supposed to eat, all of those. Well, there's every single olive I've seen has at least 6 or 8 holes in it already. And they're hard as a rock. So I'm not too hopeful. No, not neem. No. The biological control, the nematodes, the beneficial nematodes. I was hoping that the beneficial, which I heard about from Felice, the videos I did in the spring with Felice. I went to her garden and she cooked that nasturtium pesto. Remember, that was incredible. And the salad dressing. She's a wonderful chef. So is Jack Davis. So please watch those videos. I am drinking passion fruit juice left over from the passion fruit video that we did a week ago when Jack was here. I had so much, as you saw in the video if you watched it. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, the best place to get in touch with Jack Davis is on Instagram. She's very, very active on Instagram. And if you want to see what starting with a blank, and I'm talking blank canvas, she has 11 just wrap your head around this. 11,000 square foot space for her garden. I can't even, I mean, I would love to imagine that, but it's all blank. And so she's got this blank canvas and she's starting from scratch, building the soil and, where they had grass, that's got to all be killed off and rebuilt. She's doing wood chips. It's amazing. So you get to see the process all along the way. Um, and Luis has just shared. Uh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That soap, Eric? Not for the fruit fly. You don't know when they're out there. I don't mean fruit flies. I mean olive fruit flies. Good morning, Denise. Thank you. uh, oh, Cheryl, she definitely will. She was growing bananas and pears in Epic Yard Farm 1.0, so there's no doubt. In fact, she already is. She brought pears. How did she bring pears already? She brought pears, and we had pears and cheese, this wonderful cheese I was telling you about, and crackers and figs, my figs, at her campsite at the Malibu RV park overlooking the Pacific Ocean. That was a nice moment. Anyway, I was watching. Oh, first of all, I just wanted to tell you, I finally got my shipment of t-shirts. At the same time everyone else did, I got them. I just haven't had a chance to show you. But I ordered several because I wanted to see what the different colors looked like and show people. So this is a fantastic color, similar to the color of a different um, of a different style of shirt. But I love this. This is going to look great on anybody, brown eyes or blue eyes. And some people can't wear orange, but I happen to love orange and red and coral and rose and maroon. And this is the fitted, some people just look better in a fitted t-shirt. And I wore that. I wore this one in my, as Johnny mentioned, I did a couple of live clips on Instagram yesterday, and I wore this one. And of course, I love purple. And you've seen this color, which I adore. This is really my signature late bloomer color. Okay, so you guys, the third campaign is underway. And at the very top of the live chat, if you haven't gotten your t-shirt, I hope you will order one. It does put a few dollars into the coffers of this channel, and I really appreciate it. It's just bonfire.com/late-bloomer. Yes, Cheryl. Red anju. Yes, the pears that she brought were red skin, and they were incredible. Thank you, Luis. You should order one. It is so comfy. It's a t-shirt. They also have a sweatshirt in this color. Oh no! Oh no! What kind of thieves? What kind of thieves, Eric? Someone or some animal stole all of his Asian pears. Wait, Daryl, didn't you have the same problem with your Asian pears? Oh gosh, I can't imagine squirrels could take out a whole crop in one night. That's not possible. That would have to have been an invasion of the squirrels. Anyway, I just wanted to mention a few other things. I was contacted by Dynagrow. Luis, you'll remember Dynagrow because that's one of the things that our friend Endelbon is his channel name. Help me, Luis. Why am I blanking? He uses Foliage Pro. He used Foliage Pro is one of the things that he recommended, and as a nutritional supplement for his plants. And I happened to be contacted, and I have used it also, and because of him, because of his recommendation. Um, and I was contacted by the company, and they would like me to try their products. I'm in a kind of an awkward situation because I am scaling down this garden because I'm going to be moving, and I said, I really need to start fresh, when I move, and so that I'll have a real sense of if the products are working and how well they're working. And so she said, take your time, and that's what I'm going to do. Um, but I just thought that was really cool because they sent me a box of every single product that they make, and some of their products are considered to be organic, but they do not have the organic certification, the OMRI certification. I just want to give a shout out this morning. My mother had a very bad day yesterday. I've talked about my mother so much. She's our only connection to our past in our family. And she just had a monster birthday, the big 90. And on September 12th, I was there early over Labor Day. We celebrated early. And ever since her birthday, well, ever since last December, she's been going steadily in decline. But she rallied at her birthday party over Labor Day, and she had a huge piece of cake. Anyway, she fell yesterday and got a compression fracture on one of her lumbar vertebra. And for a person of this age and so forth, surgery, none of that sort of thing. You just can't put a person through that kind of stress. So she's in a lot of pain and confusion, and I just send some good thoughts to my mother back in Tennessee, in Nashville, Tennessee. I would appreciate that. Um, I was watching. I was watching. I noticed that Doug and Stacy were on live this morning. As soon as I woke up and I looked at my phone, and so I started watching. And they have a great video that they did at the National Heirloom Expo about seed saving. If you're not already subscribed to their channel, you might want to get subscribed, even though you may not have a homestead or plan to have a homestead. um, they have uh, they have so much great information on their channel. I highly recommend subscribing. And I started thinking about seeds, and I wanted to talk about seeds. Uh, oh yeah, Luis, I was so jealous of you guys. I didn't get to go to the expo this year because of my situation. Um, Daryl's talking about his squirrel problem. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Uh, my Both of my brothers were there with her for several hours yesterday and tried to assist her and bring her some comfort. But we'll see how things go. Anyway, I was talking about seeds, and so it reminded me that in addition, the she did a video with the lady from Baker Creek, and she went through all of the um, methods, wet and dry methods for seed saving. So if you haven't checked out that video, it's a great one to watch. The girl from Baker Creek is very knowledgeable, and it reminded me when Jack was here, she had asked me if I had any coriander seeds. And I said, of course, it's one of the main things I was saving up until, last fall. And so I went and I grabbed my jar, and I had a half pint jar full. Every seed you save is an effort. And I opened the jar, and they didn't look right. And I took a whiff, and it was It smelled horrible. Oh my gosh. I think I even threw the jar away. And maybe I overreacted. I don't know. Maybe I could have baked them or something to make them okay. I don't know. But I had another um, I've got either a bee or a yellow jacket. Uh, I had another jar of seeds and I just sacrificed those. But you know what it's like when you take a plant through its whole growth and then you save the seeds. It's like your child and your offspring are those seeds. Those are your offspring. And to just throw those away is, oh, it was just heartbreaking. But I started thinking about what seeds am I going to take and what am I going to be able to use. And to answer your question, Johnny, um, I thank you, Cheryl. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you. Oh, I don't know the difference in gray squirrels and ground squirrels. I'm jumping back and forth between squirrels and seeds here because you guys are talking about squirrels and I'm talking about seeds. But anyway, uh, I rented a U-Haul in case you're not on Instagram and did not see my live the things I shared yesterday. I rented a U-Haul 10-foot U-Haul van, they call it. It's truck. And I can't even remember how many decades it's been since I drove a truck. I used to own a Jeep, four-wheel drive Jeep, and Willie's wagon Jeep, the old one. Yes, that's a yellow jacket. Go away. Um, and I've driven a Caterpillar and tractors and um, I mean, I've never driven a semi tractor trailer and don't have any plans to ever do that. But but if you haven't driven one in a while, you think, well, it's wider and these crowded streets in LA. But I did fine. I rented it and I drove it here and we loaded up what some things I have been packing up for a while just to minimize because this house is going to be sold and you have to have a minimum of things in your house when people come through and look at it. Um, so I had to do that. And so I have a storage space. We took it to, Eric was here. He brought his son. We worked and and then it went at the end of in the afternoon, we got all that done, took the truck back. And then in the afternoon, we just cleaned up because the garden was really messy. So, so that's all that I can really share because I don't know where I'm going. And the only thing that I know for sure is that I've been invited to put my container plants at my friend Jim's house in my neighborhood and still plan to do that. Thank you, Rebecca. So, the people that have been visiting me, I've been giving seeds to because I think, well, why am I hoarding seeds? I don't know if I'll be able to plant them or where or when. And, if I have my next garden, it might not be in this climate. And one of the things that she was saying about seeds is, the beauty of being in one place for a long time with your garden is that you can acclimate. And Daryl has done this. Many people, I'm sure Eric has done this. You develop your seeds for, season after season that do well in your climate. And I always thought, okay, that's what I'm doing with my tomato seeds and this thing and that thing. And, I would try a new one, but I would always keep those same 4 or 5 varieties that I really loved and just see if they could adapt to this climate better. But the climate's changed a lot. I mean, we used to have just these scorching days. I mean, it would be 2 of our winters during the 7 years of this garden. We had temperatures close to 90 in January. So, yeah, those are the years that I did so well with tomatoes and cucurbits and so this year we had the coldest winter in 60 years and it's 66 degrees in September. I mean, normally in the first year of this garden, it was it was in the 90s into up until Halloween. I was still growing watermelons. So speaking of watermelon, that is my watermelon, my only one. And I don't know if it's done or how. It's supposed to get bigger than that. So I haven't really paid attention to it. Um, but watermelons are so funny about when you harvest them. And does anybody know? I mean, it's not perfectly round and it's not very big. And it's very, very green, and so's the vine. So I'm assuming it's way, way, way not ready. Anywhere near ready. Uh let's see. What else was I going to talk about? What do you guys? Good morning, Yavencia. Fort Gordon. Fort Gordon. I didn't realize that's where you were. Where is Fort Gordon? Landrace seed. What is that, Eric? What are you talking about? Jack, yes. Jamela. If you scroll up, it's Jamela. Jack. Jack is my resident weatherman. Wait, meteorologist? Is that what we call them? He follows all the storms. He tracks all the storms, and he's in high school. And Jack is asking about Jamela, and Jamela tuned in earlier. If you scroll back. Hey, everybody, did everybody do this? I only see 20 of those, and there's almost 40 people. Good morning, Brittany. Where are you writing from? Check the stem. The stem is totally green, intuitive. What's your first name? Yeah, I know, Jack, and I actually did not see the tendril. Let me see. Well, if you mean the first tendril at the first joint, the tendril up here, those two are dried up and brown. But it's very green. You think it, does anybody think that it should be ready? It's my only one. And it's so, the thing is, if you cut it and it's not ripe, then you wasted the whole thing. Foolproof way of judging watermelon ripeness, but I have to teach it in person. It has to do with sound when knocking on it. Okay. Well, Daryl, we're not going to be in person. It does not sound like it has a hollow. It sounds very dull and not like a sound, if you know what I mean. Lori. Hi, Lori. Yes, Jack, they're supposed to get hit today and tomorrow. Yeah, well, Eric, that's what I'm talking about, and I have been doing that, but the climate's changing just in the few years that I've been here, and I will be gardening at least for a while in my same neighborhood because his house is literally 2.5, 3 blocks from here. So, but that's all going to be in containers. So I'm going to have to rely more on compost and nutrients. And I don't know if I can compost there. It's, I'm sure I'm not going to be able to do in ground composting with my worm towers. Um, so, the seeds that I have saved are acclimated to here, but most likely, I've mentioned this many times. This is a little pocket by the ocean, and you go into LA that way, uh, even 2 miles, and it's much hotter and drier. And you go in the valley, it's 25 degrees hotter. So I don't know what's I should do with my seeds now. I'm going to take them, obviously, what I have, and I have a lot. So I have a lot of loofah seeds. What, Eric? So should the seed. So should the seed. Hey, good morning, Christina. Go back and catch the beginning later after we get it. I could do a standalone worm bin, but it doesn't serve the same purpose. I am dying to do a worm tower update because I hadn't put anything in those for a while because I didn't know what my situation was going to be. And we opened it the other day and it was just totally soil. I've never seen that before because I was always adding, more food scraps. And when I looked up at that helicopter, I got a glimpse of my loofah vine. And my loofah vine is, I would say, 16 feet off the ground. And there's flowers. I can't tell if there are any fruit up there, but I have a feeling I'm going to have another round. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see a small one up there. It's too bad I can't get up there and cook it. Good morning, Judith. From the Netherlands. Good morning. I am fine. I am doing fine. Thank you. I have decided to be cheerful and embrace this big new transition in my life. It took a while to get to that place. I think that you have to go through that process because I love my garden and I love my house. And what's been interesting is as I have shed a lot of things and cleared it out for it to be sold, it is so much more pleasant to be in there. I haven't done my office yet. It's an absolute disaster, but it's going to take a whole week. But every other room I've embraced. And it's just so pleasant. It's so quiet and peaceful. And you just never know you're in this, one of the biggest cities in the world and one of the most jam-packed, uh, you know, I don't know where we rank on crime, but this is a major city, and I was just in Hollywood on Friday because I had an audition. Yay! I had an audition. Cross your fingers. Might be going to Pittsburgh. Any Pittsburgh people watching? I hope that works out. Anyway, I was over in Hollywood, and it's so hot. It's so congested. It's people are darting all around and crazy, and somehow I was fortunate to spend 25 years in this neighborhood. The price of real estate has gone sky high, and in that time, and so it's a great time to. Oh, my dragon fruit is incredible. It's not blooming though. A great time um, to I have an empty nest, and I can't stay in a big house, and so I got to make a move. Staying in Los Angeles means probably not being able to buy my own place. And but everything remains to be seen. It's still up in the air, but I should know something more definitive in a couple of weeks. Hey, Haffy. Hey, Suzanne. Thank you. You're in Eastern Pennsylvania. If I get to if I get to Pittsburgh, I'll miss you by several hours. I was stunned when I drove all the way across Pennsylvania to get to Pittsburgh. I thought, my God, this is a long state this way. From Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. I mean, that's hours and hours and hours. Judith, it's so true. It's so true. Ooh. Well, Jamela, I hope you have a plan for staying safe during the storm. Hey, Darren. Thank you. Oh, gosh. Judith, I will go somewhere close, but I don't know exactly where yet. But I should know something pretty soon. Right, Eric. True. True. That's fantastic, Darren. Darren has been following me for a while. Darren is a young man who is interested in going into the healthcare field, and he follows me from Facebook, and he's joined his first live stream, Darren Home Email. I think you really need to change that Google name, Darren, when you think of it. Let's see. Oh no, it's not that, Cheryl. It's a whole different situation. Yeah. Wow. Well, Jamila, you'll have to keep in touch with me. I don't know where I'll be. I won't be here. Oh yes, Philadelphia for the Art Museum. And Luis, did you see that amazing garden that I profiled when I went to Pittsburgh? I went to what was the name of it? It's the big botanical garden in Pittsburgh. It's fantastic. Thank you, Haffy. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. We have 44 people on. We've only got 30 of these. That's fantastic, Katie. Katie served in the Navy. How long were you in the Navy? My father was a Navy man. That's fantastic. What do you do now? Do you have a garden, and where do you live? Because I don't recognize your channel name, so I'm thinking maybe this is the first time you've joined a live stream. Judith, I know. It's true. It's true. You homestead full time. Did you come to me from Doug and Stacy? Oh, that's fantastic, Katie. Thank you so much. Where are you? Where are you located? Yeah, Luis wants to know. Luis, I don't see you ever homesteading because you're too much of a networker. You like to be right in your community, going to all those community events and everything. Katie, are you going to the homesteading conference in I forget where it is. It's on the East Coast somewhere. October 11th and 12th. Doug and Stacy were talking about that in their video this morning. You're in AZ. My gosh, where? Homesteading in AZ, where? But where? Well, Daryl, I posted. I don't think you're not following Facebook, but I posted a Washington Post story this week about there are 50 million less birds in North America than 30 years ago or something. Our bird population has been hit really hard, and you know everything is affected by that. And they're naming pesticides, loss of habitat from pesticides, and other factors. Hello, little Luna from Spain. Katie says 5 miles from the border. Um, but close to Tucson, that border, or I'm just wondering because I went to a wonderful artist community south of Tucson. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's just right down the freeway, um, and it's close to the border. But it was this lovely little artist community, and the artists live and have their studios there and sell, and then the tourists come and support them by buying their art. Ah, no, I didn't, Suzanne. In fact, I haven't spent any time in Philadelphia. I would love to. I don't know anyone there, and whenever I travel, I usually stay with someone I know. Um, Gigi, where are you writing from? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate that. And please share my channel with someone who also might enjoy my viewpoint or gardening. I would really like to reach a big number by the end of the year, which, as you know, we make money from Google ads, and that's how creators, that's the main source of income for creators. And the more subscribers you have, the more views you have, the more money you make. But it's just as an example, if you have 5,000 views on a video, can you guess how much money that actually puts into the coffers? It's only about $20. So I used to spend a lot of money making my videos, and everyone told me, "Okay, that's crazy. You can't do that. You can't do that." But I had a different agenda then. I really saw it as a stepping stone to a TV show or something. And, you know, so that didn't happen, or hasn't happened. And so at some point I got smart, and I don't feel that you can have as good a quality uh, doing everything yourself. But uh, that's, that's what you do, because that's how little money you make. And so so anybody getting into this thinking, well, I'm going to make a lot of money, you're only going to make a lot of money if you have a lot of subscribers. Like once you get to be 100,000, YouTube starts treating you like you're special. I used to hear that they started treating you like you're special when you had 10,000 subscribers, but they really treat you special when you have 100,000. And speaking of Doug and Stacy, when I was there, if you saw my videos with Doug and Stacy, Katie, do you follow Doug and Stacy? I know you're in Arizona, and it's very different from Missouri, but they have such good information that anyone can use. Plus, they're at all these homesteading conferences. I guess I should look and see if you're answering me. Why is this not moving? Oh, there we go. Green zebras are wonderful, but there are tomatoes that are much better than green zebras, in my opinion. Yes, I know. When Katie, when I was there, I decided to buy a fermenting kit, and I didn't even open it because I thought, well, what am I going to ferment? Because my peppers didn't materialize. I mean, she goes out into this huge garden. Thank you, Haffy. Haffy just hit that $sign at the bottom of the chat window and made a super chat donation, which I really appreciate. It totally helps, believe me. YouTube notices every interaction, comments, they track all of that analytics for us. And it really does make a difference. So thank you. Luis is the one that turned me on to Aunt Ruby's German greens, and that's my favorite green tomato. I mean, it is, if you get a good Aunt Ruby's German green tomato, there's not much better than that. In fact, if you go back, everybody should go back and watch. If you go to my channel and you search, oh, how would they find that video of you, Luis? I guess just your name, Luis. Well, that would be in the description. So it should be, or Long Beach. If you search the Long Beach videos. Do I have a Long Beach playlist? I don't know if I have a Long Beach playlist. I only had, I think, 4 videos down there. If you're asking me my favorite tomato of all time, I would have to say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember the name of it now, but it is, Luis can help me. It's one of what's his name's tomatoes. Luis, you know who I'm talking about. He was at the expo when I was there, and I did a video with him. And he did carry his tomatoes under the Baker Creek. And I think he still does, under the Baker Creek website, rareseeds.com. And it had these golden, sort of gold greenish metallic stripes on this red tomato that was, this deep, rich red. And you slice into that. Oh my God, that's so amazing. I also had great luck with, and I think one of our original people, Wild Boar Farms. Thank you, Luis. He's got a, yes, Katie. What would that tomato have been? But if you go back and you look at my growing tomatoes playlist, you go to my homepage, you go to my playlist, go to my growing tomatoes playlist. It is the one where it's a series of 5 videos, and I go from beginning to end, seeds to harvest and saving seeds. Yeah, Berkeley Tie-Dye, the Unknown Woman channel. Berkeley Tie-Dye, thank you. That's what it is. And they had another one that was very similar to that. And then I would say my favorite cherry tomato is the blueberry cherry. Oh my, it's just so, it almost has it kind of not smoky, but just this flavor that just rebounds and abounds in your mouth. You bite into it, and you know how just a red cherry tomato, a really good one, just gives you that tart blast of flavor, and that's it. The blueberry cherry has tones that change a little bit in your mouth. It's delicious. I have no idea what this comment is, and so since it's not in English, I mean, I would love to translate that, but I don't know if we can translate it. I'm just going to put that in timeout. You may have great intentions, but I don't know that language, and I don't know what you're saying. So I just, if you can say something at all in English, then I'll know that it's okay. Atomic grape. I don't know if I've tried that one, but I've heard about it. I did not visit Bisbee, but it's interesting you should mention Bisbee because one of my oldest, dearest friends is from Bisbee. uh, it's called Chuck. It has kind of an Indian kind of name, American Indian kind of name. Tucka. Um, it's like 3 or 4 syllables starting with a T. I forget, Katie, but you can find it very easily. I saw it on the map the other day. Everybody guessed Berkeley tie-dye. Wow. Well, Daryl, yes, but you haven't tried the Berkeley tie-dye. Because I grew Cherokee purple before I grew Berkeley tie-dye. And I gotta say, if you take everything into consideration, it's such a stunningly beautiful tomato. You hold it up in the sun, and these metallic stripes literally reflect the light. It's an incredible tomato, and the flavors as good as a Cherokee purple. I think I tried chocolate cherry. Thank you, Jack. Mm. I want to give a special shout out to Gina Maynard. I also want to give a special shout out. Is Steve there? I haven't heard from Deadly Wound today. Steve, you have to be watching. I want to give a special shout out to all of my really, really close friends, and I welcome the rest of you to become close friends with me also. I can't tell you what your support has done for me this year, and it kind of helps keep me going, knowing that you you enjoy what I do, and that hopefully you'll enjoy what I do wherever I go. Um, because saying goodbye to this garden is going to be extremely hard, and I don't know, because it's interesting. If I It's an edible garden, and people walk their dogs in. If they pause to look at my garden, the dog takes an opportunity to, you know. Um, but I want to give a special shout out to Gina and Daryl and Steve and oh my gosh, Angie and Luis and so many people who are supporting me through this transition by sharing my videos and watching them all. Cheryl Williams, of course. Uh, I just really, really appreciate it. Jack, I'm in touch with all the time. Uh, Thank you. Uh, good morning, Harag. I wanted to give a shout out also to the people on my last live stream with Jack. And I do have a few of those Egyptian spinach seeds left. And I had about 6 people that responded with $5 donations, except for a couple of them were $10 donations. So thank you very much. And to those people, I sent some bonus loofah seeds. So if you guys still want some of the Egyptian spinach seeds that Jack Davis prepared for our when she brought them for our last live stream, the first, I think there are 4 packs, maybe 5. The first 4 or 5 people who make a $5 or more donation to my PayPal, I will send you those this week. So please do. Stephen, thank you. And Jack is here, everyone. Please say hello to Jack at Epic Yard Farm. I was just been talking about you, Jack, and talking about how you're starting from absolute scratch, and what a challenge, but also a blessing that would be to just really. I did that, almost did that. I mean, I had some 2 or 3 existing birch trees over there. 2 of them got this thing that the birch trees get and died. I had a big pittosporum tree here, and all the pittosporums in the whole area are dying. I don't know if you remember that, but it was huge, and when it would bloom, there would be a million bees. That tree got it was actually on a little bit on each of our properties, and he had it taken down. And so there's this huge gap there now. And I planted last year when I came back from Phoenix, I planted a loquat tree, but it's been very slow growing. And but I think it's too late. I don't think I can. I don't think I can dig it up and take it with me. I know Pat Smith in Mobile. She's a renter, and she when she is has to move, if a tree is only a couple years old, she digs everything up and takes them with her. Uh, my cat is getting very adventurous. No kidding. I didn't know that, Luis, about the green zebra. So he started with that base, and he and all of those. And how did who came up with the green zebra to start with? I just don't think the green zebra is nearly as sweet and rich and flavorful as the ones that he has developed. Good morning, Steve. Thank you, Judith. I really appreciate that. I try to be. Um, Thank you, Suzanne. I everybody noticed Suzanne's comment. That is what I have wanted from day one because of my background. Um, because I want to be able to reach more people. Obviously, if you can reach, uh, I mean, we were just looking. There's a big video summit for creators happening in Los Angeles next month, and uh, let's see, forget 17th through the 19th of next month. So all these, Casey Neistat. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's got many millions of viewers, and all these really big creators are going to be there speaking and stuff. It's expensive for a ticket, but I live here, so we'll see. I'm not sure if I'll go or if I'll just buy the pass to stream it live. But yes, I always wanted my own show because I thought I could reach a lot more people. But hey, these creators now they're winning awards and they're reaching millions of people through YouTube. So it's possible to find success that way. But Casey already had a film company when he started vlogging. This is when the vlogging thing started happening, big on YouTube, 2015 or 16 or something. And uh, he already had a film company. He'd already made films, and in New York, in Manhattan, when he started vlogging. And while I was watching him, because I was watching him for a while, because I wanted to see, what all the excitement was about. And he's skateboarding down the streets of Manhattan without a helmet, with a selfie, and I'm just going, okay, well, I won't be jumping out of airplanes like Casey's doing. No, he literally was hanging out of a helicopter in one of his videos over some city or something, and I'm going, okay, this is not me. This is not who I am. I'm not a daredevil. but but anyway, you can get a lot of fans that way and make a lot of money. And during that time, he had his app developers develop an app, and he sold called Beam, Beme, and he sold that app to CNN for 25 million. So you can really find success just through a YouTube presence. But it takes a lot of work and a lot of smarts to do that. So I'm still hoping that my positive spirit and my skills can lead me to a show like that. Long-winded answer, but thank you, Suzanne. Gina loves watching me cook. Well, or hopefully watching Jack cook, because Jack is a much better cook than Jack is a chef. She's on now. You can talk to Jack. You can ask her questions about her garden or her cooking, but she is a chef and she considers the texture in food as well as, I just get things done, and hopefully they taste great. But she considers how a bite is going to be received in the mouth. It's not something I think about, but obviously chefs do think about that. Yes, Harag, it's pretty amazing. Let's see. Uh, well, Louise, as Jack, and I'll speak for Jack because she said this in the live stream. She said she's not as comfortable speaking on camera. English is her third language. And that live stream was the first time she'd ever been on a live stream. And when I went to Phoenix and filmed her for her channel, for my channel, that's the first time she'd ever been on video. She had just done a couple of little clips here and there. So, but she is a very good still photographer. So that's why her focus is on Instagram. Lisa, let's see. I wonder if one of the seed companies would let you put a postcard in to promote your channel or for people to enter to win a shirt. Ha. I don't know. Jer Gettle knows me pretty well at Baker Creek. I've done a couple of videos with him, but he is, so many people are coming at him all the time. So he's not sitting there thinking about me and Late Bloomer Show, but he does know who I am, and he has not reached out to me to offer to say, even to come and speak at the expo. So, maybe that's my responsibility to reach out to him and say, I'd like to come and speak at the expo and I want to speak on X, Y, and Z. Maybe I just find that it I just find that if I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because somebody just texted me and asked me to go to church with them. uh, anyway, okay, what were you saying? Jack, you are not horrible at videos, just unpracticed and nervous. You have an awesome presence and accent, which I love. And Gina is so right, Jack. It's totally it's totally you, and you're so knowledgeable. And I was telling it, I love watching Jack's hands. I was into just photographing her mincing garlic. Now maybe I let that clip go on too long, but I just was fascinated, because she's so skilled with the knife. I'm just a get the job done cook. So, but I do hope everybody will watch those videos because I really need more views. Because YouTube is sending me a notice. This video is not getting, it's getting 50% less views than whatever, So I just want to make sure that those cooking videos get more exposure. Good morning, Tiki Cat. Thank you so much. Where are you writing from? That's a great idea. So can you leave me a comment under this live stream when we're done so that I can remember? We're at 9 o'clock and 9 minutes. Let's see. You do, Luis? You're messaging seed companies? Well, you're involved with that app and everything. You have a little bit more credibility in terms of seeds, I would think. Okay, Christina, I'm going to need some life coaching this week, so send me an email and remind me. I've just been kind of trying to keep my nose out of the waves all year, and I'm not trying to make a joke of because there's so many people that are getting hit with all these storms. But that's what this year has been about for me, trying to survive, and trying to mourn and grieve and face reality and be realistic. And it's hard, especially when you get into a years long routine of, you do this in the fall and you do this in the winter and you do this, because I'm a year round gardener. I would be right now, if I had more space and I was going to be here, I would be planting my brassicas. I love growing brassicas. They're so beautiful. And it's a whole different experience growing brassicas than cucurbits or vining plants, or, and just it's the whole world of plants and seeds and everything. But but now I've got these two huge olive trees, and every single olive has 6 to 8 holes in it. How is that even possible? I've never even seen an olive fruit fly. They must be microscopic. Ugh, it's so frustrating. Cheryl, yeah, tell me. We can do a shirt giveaway on the Crop Swap app. Louise, would you please send me a comment afterwards or call me or something? So because I have an extra T-shirt that I could, you know, I have 4 extra T-shirts that I could give away. Good morning, Echocentric. Jack thinks I need a KitchenAid stand mixer. My mother had a stand mixer. My mother had a stand mixer, and I loved it, but I don't have any counter space. I won't, and I will have even less counter space if I go, when I move, probably. Oh, oh my gosh. Luis, you start all these seeds, and your garden, your yard garden is like smaller than mine. I don't know where you're going to put all those. Good morning, Elaine. I'm so sorry to hear that. Where are you in SoCal? If you've told me before, I'm sorry. Just tell me again. Um, Luis thinks I need the mixer too. Thank you, Gina. San Gabriel Valley. Okay, so from here, I always get the valleys mixed up. So which one is San Gabriel and which? So if I go over the 405 over to the valley, that's not the San Gabriel Valley. The San Gabriel Valley is on the other side of Santa Clarita, right? Wait, when you get on the other side of Santa Clarita or Valencia or something, then it's not a valley. It's just when you go over the pass. No, it's got to be before that. So it's probably between this next valley and and you're the next valley, right? Oh my gosh, Elaine, spider mites. My beans, my what else was just plastered with spider mites. Um, it's spider mites. Just they're they can destroy a whole crop. You look at the back of the leaves and everything is covered. Harag is talking about a wall garden, and yes, if you have a wall, a fence or a wall that gets sun, you absolutely can grow so many things. And I'm hoping that, well, I'm hoping I I have a garden in my future. I saw a wall like that at when I went up to Carmel. We actually had a spa day. So this was a very expensive spa we went to for a massage. And but they had this beautiful wall, and they had these all of these um, containers mounted on the wall. Oh, I was going to mention, I somebody that contacted me. I was getting rid of something on Nextdoor, which is a neighborhood app, and a guy says it was a Formica 60s tabletop, which didn't sell at my estate sale because I didn't have the legs. I had gotten it from my neighbor's house, and I thought I had the legs in the garage. Couldn't find the legs. So, how many people want a 60s tabletop without the legs? Because you really need those metal legs to make it look to match the metal that goes around the edge. Anyway, somebody responded right away and said, "I think I could use that." And I'm going, "Great!" So he came and got it, and so we started talking. And he's a production designer of films, and work is a little slow. So he's a he's a creative person. So he's created all of these beautiful ceramic vessels that you mount onto a wall in as landscape art, and they're not just these plain like shapes. They are, and I asked him if he wanted to be on my live stream. He could show some pictures and talk about it, but he said he's extremely shy and he couldn't do that. And so I'm just mentioning, if anybody is interested in seeing some pictures like that, I could post them on my Facebook if you're following me on Facebook. But they're really beautiful. And because he's traveled all over the world making these movies, he's taken these shells and these organic things like shells and pieces of driftwood, fossils, and he's made molds of them. And then he's filled the molds with concrete and mounted the concrete onto these ceramic urns. And so they're all different and all really organic and beautiful. And I'm hoping that in my next phase, I will be able to work with somebody in their garden who might appreciate this, and so I can connect him with people. And because creative people need an outlet for their creativity, and this is really unique and special. It's not just decorative. It has meaning and history and place, and I'm hoping success for him. Let's see. Christina's asking if tunnels, and I think Eric at Double Dog would be a great person to ask. Daryl, I don't think you do tunnels. I don't know, but if you do, but gosh, I've gotten too many questions here. Hey, Tawana, I didn't see you here. Yes, that's what I was going to say, Christina. If spider mites get underneath the tunnels, it just goes like crazy. And once under a tunnel, it's even harder to deal with because you got to crawl in there. And the only time I've heard about anybody torch flaming anything is Lizzie Lou, Elizabeth Westcott at Lizzie Lou's family farm. And if you're on Instagram and you're not following Lizzie Lou, you're missing out. Her photographs are amazing. She has big tunnels that they converted from a market garden of vegetables and flowers to only flowers. They just had a big storm that went through over there, and it's close to Wilmington. They just had a big hurricane that went through, but they had an even bigger one. Florence went right through there, and they were like holding on to the rafters, but they were safe. And but she, when I visited her in 2017 before Florence, she she was showing me these hills of these red ants, these horrible, when you step on them, ooh, it's terrible pain. And she was saying they use the flame torch on those. So, but she has all these pictures of these two adorable, identical twin blonde girls who are always out barefoot all over the garden and everything. And I just, every time I see that, I think of those ants and I think, don't step on one of those. Um, ah, that's fantastic. Gina, remind everybody where you are. You're in North Carolina. So you're in your Celeste fig trees in your yard. Talking about fig trees, when I first started gardening, I bought a fig tree. You go down to the nursery and you think, well, what could I plant? You see fig trees sitting there and you go, okay, citrus, figs, certain things do really well here. So I planted a fig tree in the parkway out there early on and it died. And I couldn't figure out, did I not water it enough? Did I water it too much? And somebody said to me, you can't plant a fig tree, Kaye. Fig trees get huge. And I saw this fig tree at this one nursery. There was a nursery down at um, the veterans property down there in Westwood, and we had a native nursery down there, and I would go down there for all my California natives because I planted a lot of those early on, and they had a fig tree that was massive. I mean, it was massive. And I thought, no, you're right. I can't plant a fig tree. I've just got a tiny little yard. But the thing about fig trees is you can prune them. They can take infinite pruning. So you can control the size of your fig tree. So, once I realized that, I planted 2 fig trees. Now, if Eric is still watching, Double Dog, I would really like to know what I should do with this Desert King fig. Now, right now, if you guys watched, well, that video, Jack, I have not posted yet. I hope to get to that today. I did a number of videos with Jack, one of which was where she showed me I'm doing a series of how-to videos. And I put a post on my community page. I said, would you like to see, I did a poll. I said, would you like to see a series of short how-to videos on my channel? And the response was overwhelmingly positive. And so I've done that. I've done 3 of them now, and people aren't watching them. I need to get more people watching them. One is how to propagate dragon fruit cactus. And then I'll have one, how to air layer the fig tree. And that's one of the ones I'm working on with Jack that we shot and that I'll be editing. But I'm wondering about this fig tree now, Eric, because Eric is at Double Dog is the one that originally sent me this tree, little tree. And now this tree is about 12 feet tall and about 8 or 10 feet wide. But all the branches kind of went straight up. I haven't pruned it at all. And I'm lucky that the branches went straight up because it's right beside the sidewalk. And if they had like jutted out or something, into the sidewalk, I would have had to take those off. But I'm thinking now that there's like at least 12 branches that go almost straight up, kind of like that. And I'm thinking I probably need to prune that before I go. And I really need to know the best way to do that. Because if I just do that at the top of each one of those, I'm assuming that I'm going to have a bunch of this. But you cannot get up there and harvest those figs without a 10-foot ladder, is the problem. Maybe a 6-foot ladder, but you're standing at the top and you really need to have somebody holding that ladder to be safe. So, that's the thing about, and when I visited Jill Green in Sweet Life Garden in Phoenix, she has a peach orchard, and she was saying that they take those trees down. What did she say, Jack? 3, 4, 5 feet every year. so that it's manageable, so that they can get up and pick and harvest those fruit. It's a great idea, Jack, and I may do that because this one place I'm looking at has a sunny window. Did Daryl go? I'm sorry. Ah, Pat, by the way, I don't know, Pat, how long you've been on, but I did mention you earlier. Pat is in Mobile. She's the one I visited in Mobile, Alabama. And Pat, I think, Pat, you're still working at the food bank, the food bank that distributes food to hundreds of thousands of people on the Gulf. She manages their garden there. I went all the way down to Mobile, Alabama. She also volunteers at a community garden. She also has a disabled son and 2 daughters she's taking care of. So, Pat, you're an amazing woman, and I want you to just keep your irrepressible positive spirit. And Pat has a new cookbook, which is something I mentioned when I went down there. It actually finally happened, and she has a cookbook, and it's on Amazon. It's a small cookbook of her recipes. What's the name of your cookbook, Pat? Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Remington. I've missed out. Oh, that'll be interesting, Tawana. Good morning, Laura. You have no idea, Suzanne, how hard it is to get access. I'm assuming you said something about, I see Lisa's comment to you. You have no idea how hard it is to get access to famous people. um, I've certainly thought about it. 2 weeks, okay. Just check it by pulling the foil off and looking and seeing if I see any roots growing in there. Eric? Let's see. I missed so much. Ah. Well, the reason we did air layering instead of taking cuttings, Luis, is because number one, I don't think it's the right season, and I have to do this now. And Eric, who actually sent me the tree, suggested air layering, so that's what we did. And Jack had just had, hey, I have a squirrel going at a pineapple guava up there. Oof, let's see. Yeah, I would absolutely love to do that, Suzanne. And maybe we can, Queen Bee, I see you, Queen Bee, but I didn't see your comments. Gardenia plant, wow. I have only had one gardenia plant in my life. That was before I ever started my garden. So if anybody has any advice for the info boy, please check that out. By the way, Harag, I think that you should change your. This is just my 2 cents. I think you should change your icon photo into something recognizable. If it's not your face, then a plant or something, because it just on the gray screen, it just appears as a black dot. It's just a black circle, and it's hard to even see it because what I see, you may see white where the white where your comments are. It may appear to be white and black. I don't know, but mine is dark gray with white letters, and I don't even see the icon. Hello, human. I don't know if you had a comment. Uh, no, no, I know. Well, one of the people that I would love to profile is the director of the Titanic and his wife, because they're vegan, first of all, and they have a huge farm up in Malibu that they resource that they grow all of their own vegetables, and that's somebody that I would love to profile. But like I said, getting access to these people is really hard. Um, it's just jumping. Yes, I'm going to try. I'm going to try though. That's true, Lisa. That is very, very true. Thank you, Christina. Christina's asked for the thumbs up. We are now at an hour and a half. I have a guest coming at 10 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If anybody else has a burning question, we'll take like one more question. Otherwise, I am going to wish everyone a wonderful week. And the next 2 weeks are going to be really, really jammed. If you are in Los Angeles in the next month, I'm looking at a huge fig eater beetle hovering around my fig over there. If you're going to be in Los Angeles in the next month, I am doing tours. I spend a couple of hours with you. It's $35 a person. We talk about what I'm growing, what I plan to grow, what I did grow, what works well here. And we'll have tea, and you'll probably go home with a plant. And that is what I'm doing until I leave. And so be sure and leave me a comment at my website, which is latebloomershow.com/comment. And contact, not comment, contact, latebloomershow.com/contact. You can send me an email and say, I'm going to be in Los Angeles in October. I would love to visit your garden, and we will work something out. And I have a monarch, I have fig eater beetles, I have squirrels, I have doves, bees, yellow jackets. I mean, this place is so alive. And that's one of my concerns actually is where does my wildlife go, when I go? And one of the things that I already stopped doing was feeding my hummingbirds. And guess what? They left. I don't have any hummingbirds. And I always had hummingbirds, always, 24/7. Had hummingbirds, winter, summer, spring. And I decommissioned my hummingbird feeder, and because I wanted them to look for other sources while there's still a lot of flowers out. And so that's just one of the things I have to do. Let's see. Carrot cake homemade. I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, Grill Master. Tell Grill Master I said hi, and I can taste his barbecue ribs in my mouth right now. Ooh, that sounds good. Lions, tigers, and bears. Human? I don't know. Lisa, is that offer from you? I might have missed something here. Thank you, everyone, for Lisa. If that offer was to me, please contact me through my website, and let's be in touch. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Teresa, have a great day, everybody. I love you guys. God bless you. And I'll see you next Sunday at 8 a.m.